In the sparkling modern city of Summit Valley, nestled between rolling hills in Washington state where tall evergreens stood like quiet guardians and the distant snow-capped mountains gleamed under clear blue skies, there lived a boy named Ethan Caldwell. Ethan was 12 years old, with neat dark hair, sharp intelligent eyes, and a quick smile that came easily when people noticed him. His family had more money than most people could imagine. Their large, sleek house sat on a private hillside with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city lights at night. Ethan had the newest video games, a personal home theater, a collection of expensive sneakers that filled an entire closet, and a private tutor who helped him prepare for elite schools. His father ran a successful tech company, and his mother managed luxury charity events that raised millions for good causes. Everyone said Ethan was set for life. "You're so lucky," his classmates would say. "You can buy anything you want." Ethan believed it. Money made life smooth and exciting. When he wanted the latest gaming console, it arrived the next day. When he grew bored of one hobby, he simply started another with all the best equipment. He measured success by numbers: how many likes his posts received, how many rare items he collected, how much his allowance could buy. He thought money was the key to happiness. With enough of it, you never had to feel empty, bored, or left behind. But lately, a strange emptiness had begun to creep into Ethan's days. He would finish an expensive new game in one weekend and feel nothing. He would scroll through pictures of his luxurious trips and vacations but feel strangely disconnected, as if he was watching someone else's life. At school, when other kids talked excitedly about their weekend projects, building a birdhouse with their dad, volunteering at an animal shelter, or practicing a musical instrument for a school concert, Ethan stayed quiet. He had money for private lessons, but he rarely stuck with anything long enough to feel proud. Everything felt replaceable. Even his friendships sometimes felt transactional. Kids wanted to come over for the pool or the game room more than they wanted to know the real Ethan. One rainy autumn afternoon, when the evergreen trees dripped with silver mist and the city lights blurred softly below, Ethan's father surprised him with a special weekend trip. No gadgets, no luxury hotels, his father said with a mysterious smile. Just you and me helping at a small community center in the valley. They need volunteers to fix up the old playground and organize activities for the kids there. Ethan groaned inside. He had planned to spend the weekend testing a new virtual reality headset. But his father insisted, and soon they were driving down from the hills into a quieter part of the valley where the houses were smaller and the people smiled with tired but genuine warmth. The community center was an old building with peeling paint and a playground that had seen better days. Rusted swings, cracked slides, and overgrown grass. A group of local volunteers, mostly parents and retirees, greeted them warmly. "We're so grateful for any help," said Mrs. Rivera, the kind director with calloused hands and a bright scarf. "The kids here don't have much, but they have big hearts and big dreams." Ethan felt out of place in his expensive rain jacket and designer boots. He was assigned to help repaint the faded playground equipment with a group of local children. At first, he worked slowly and carefully, worried about getting paint on his clothes. The younger kids chatted happily around him, sharing stories about their favorite games and what they wanted to be when they grew up. One little girl named Mia, with messy pigtails and bright eyes, told him she dreamed of becoming an astronaut even though her family could barely afford new shoes. "I read library books about stars every night," she said proudly. "One day I'll touch the moon." Ethan listened quietly. He had been to space museums with private tours, but he had never felt the kind of fire that burned in Mia's voice. As the day went on, something began to shift. He stopped worrying about his clothes and started painting with real effort. When a boy named Jamal struggled to reach the top of the slide with his brush, Ethan lifted him gently and held the ladder steady. The simple act of helping made his chest feel warm in a way no new gadget ever had. That evening, back at the modest guest house the community center provided, Ethan and his father sat on the porch listening to the rain. "How did it feel today, son?" his father asked. Ethan thought for a long time. It felt different, not boring, like I was doing something that mattered. His father nodded. "Money can buy comfort and experiences, Ethan. But meaning, the feeling that your life touches others and makes the world a little better, That's something no amount of money can purchase. It has to be earned through time, effort, and care. The next day brought more challenges and more quiet revelations. Ethan helped build a new simple wooden ramp for the playground so kids in wheelchairs could play too. His hands got blisters. His back ached from carrying boards. But when the first child rolled down the ramp with a huge smile, Ethan felt a surge of pride deeper than any high score in a video game. In the afternoon, he joined a storytelling circle where the local kids shared dreams and fears. Ethan surprised himself by telling them about feeling empty despite having everything. The children listened without judgment. One boy said, "Having stuff is nice, but having friends who really see you is better." Ethan realized he had many acquaintances but few real friends who knew the boy behind the money. By the end of the weekend, the playground looked brighter and safer. The children hugged Ethan goodbye, and Mia gave him a handmade paper star. "Thank you for helping us reach higher," she said. Ethan held the little star carefully all the way home. It was worth more to him than any expensive collectible. Back in Summit Valley, Ethan's big house felt different. The home theater seemed too quiet and lonely. The pile of sneakers in his closet looked excessive. He started making small changes. Instead of ordering the newest game, he asked his father if they could volunteer together again. He joined a school club that tutored younger students in reading, something he was good at but had never shared before. When his expensive gaming setup broke, he didn't rush to replace it immediately. Instead, he spent the evening building a simple fort with blankets and chairs for his younger cousin who was visiting, laughing until their stomachs hurt. His mother noticed the change. One evening, as they watched the city lights from the big windows, she said, "You seem happier lately, Ethan. Less restless." He smiled and replied, "I used to think money would fill every empty space. But I was wrong. The empty space was asking for meaning, for things that matter beyond what I can buy."